Changes. Changes are the only thing that really remains constant in life, whether you welcome them or you fear them. They often come unexpectedly and inconveniently, but always unavoidable. Changes are not only challenges, but also an opportunity for something better.
As 2014, the brand new F82 M4 comes out of the market, there was many screaming voices out there on the BMW M community because there was two major changes. Change number one was the name. It doesn't call anymore M3. The coupe and the convertible calls from now on M4. The M3 was only the limousine. And the other change was the engine. Because it was no more a naturally aspirated high performance engine, it was a turbocharged engine. And that was the thing what many BMW M boys didn't like, me included. Because the way how a naturally aspirated engine drives is a complete different story compared to a turbocharged engine. But after some possibilities and some experienced with this car, with this F82, many BMW M boys realized this was the better engine because it has more power, not just 11 horsepower, more like the like on paper. Because the problem by the E92 V8 was it never has those 420 horsepower. It has always less, something like 400, 390 or 380. That was the standard. But here it was the opposite way. It was more than 431. It was somewhere between 440 and 450. And also more Newton meters of torque. And this engine feels much more alive than the E92 because it had so much more reserves, more power and more reserves inside. And also the chassis. The chassis was better. It was in any case bigger than that from the E92, but it was also lighter. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, of course, because it doesn't have this heavy V8 anymore. But the V8 was only 8 kilograms heavier than the turbocharged inline 6-cylinder. No, it was also the chassis. Many lightweight components in the chassis made this car around 80 to 100 kilograms lighter than the E92. And that was the thing that you really feel. When you drive this car sporty, when you accelerate, when you brake, when you go fast through the corners, you realize when you drive it side by side to an E92, it is much more lighter. It feels more light-footed than its predecessor. And that was the thing what really comes good by an M car. Because, I mean, these are the attributes that you want to have from an M car. And in case of all that stuff that you put together, the BMW M community start to like this car. They start even more to realize, okay, there is no more this great noisy sound, this screaming V8 engine. But this brand new F82 was better in any case. More performance, much more performance. You have also much more possibilities if you want to tune it. You just can chip tune it to have more power, over 500 horsepower. The way how it drives was better. It feels lighter. The brakes was better. And in case of this, they start at the end to like this car. And also a big part of that was the way how this car looks, because the way how the F82 looks, it was a new design language, but melted together with the nice old good style E30, E36 and E46 design elements, because the car now again was flatter, wider, a slim silhouette. No more like the E92, a fat bulky silhouette. It was wider, it looks more mightier, but it was somehow it managed to have a slimmer silhouette, like the older M3 cars. And that was really a thing that many people likes, me included. when you drive sporty, okay? When you drive sporty, you realize how much more potential this turbocharged engine has than compared to the V8. It doesn't have this great noisier sound anymore, but now it sounds again somewhere like an E46 in a different way, but it sounds somewhere like this. But the way how this car performed is much better than the E92. Woo! Much more torque, much more performance. The wider track also brings you more stability to the corners, better brakes. What I don't like is the double clutch gearbox, but you can also have this car with the manual gearbox. I mean, if you have the possibility to buy it with the manual gearbox, that's the best thing you can do. And the way this chassis, it feels so stable. The way how it doesn't flex nowhere when you drive to the corners. You doesn't feel it that it works and flex and bends like some different chassis. It feels so well balanced. And this engine has always power, in any case, in any gear. Because these twin turbos always bring that extra boost into this engine. And it feels, yet it doesn't feel the same way like a naturally aspirated engine. You have a second so when you press the acceleration pedal, until the power comes, it took a second, okay? By the naturally aspirated engine, it was always the same time. When you accelerate, the power comes. But the way how the power comes, it's not the same like it comes here, because here it comes much more expressive and harder than by the E92. By the E92, it's more linear. And good, at the end, it's a question of taste. Some people like more turbocharged engines and some more naturally aspirated engines. But in both cases, both cars really managed to make a lot of fun. I really love how this car sounds. It is really a different story compared to the V8, but it sounds so great. The issue by this car and this engine, or this engine compared with this engine in combination with this chassis, then in the first and second and also in the third gear, it has so much torque that it doesn't bring the grip on the tarmac. And that's a little bit of a problem. But after some time you're driving this car, you develop a feeling in your gas pedal feet to work smoothly with the acceleration pedal. And then you have the possibility to go fast in a corner and come fast out, even in the second gear, and even by wet street condition like we have it now. But if you go the way like you go it by the E92, straight line, puff, acceleration pedal down, after you come out from a corner, you will lose much of time. You will lose much of grip and much of power, because this car really has problem to walk in case of the sheer power that it has, okay, and the sheer torque that it creates. So it's important when you drive fast and sporty with this car to have the right feeling in your acceleration feet, okay, acceleration pedal feet. And the other thing is the gearbox. I struggle a little bit with that double clutch gearbox, because when I drive sporty, it feels somehow that it doesn't fit to work that fast like I'm driving. It's a little bit too late with gear changes. And even when I change the gears by my own, okay, for my taste, it took too long, okay? So when you have the option to get this car as a manual car, do it. Buy it. It will be more expensive, but it is worth, because it's so much more fun to work with that manual gearbox. It's more, how you want to call it, it's more connected to you than this double clutch gearbox. I really realize when I drive it fast and sporty on a pass road like we drive it here, it is a small pass road with really tight corners, short straight lines, and you really realize that double clutch gearbox doesn't manage to work fast that way how you drive it. So you drive faster than that, things could change the gears. It is more a gearbox for the highway, where you really can bang that gears in milliseconds, in case of milliseconds. There it makes really sense, okay? But here, twisty pass roads, no, it's really not, it's not my thing. I cannot deal with that. On the track again, yeah, on the track with wider corners, yeah, it could make sense. It is for sure faster than the manual gearbox, but I mean, not really much of us use those cars on the track. The most will drive it like we drive it here on a twisty pass road or a nice country road. But all in all, it's really a great car that really makes that great balance between high performance sporty driving and also this premium luxurious way how it feels, and when you drive it easy, it feels really comfortable. You can really, it's a great Grand Tourer, okay? It's a sporty Grand Tourer that really also has this DNA from a racing car. You feel it. It has this DNA.
Change is a storm that drives us forward. Often feared, rarely loved. But for those who face it and give it a chance, it reveals new paths that ignite the spirit and inspire the senses. The F82 M4 epitomized this courageous change and impressively demonstrate what can come from change. His heart beats differently than ever before. An engine that leaves the previous path of the MDNA, takes a new direction, and perhaps gives up a part of its old soul in the process. But it is precisely in this break in which the magic lies. A new era begins here, a revolution of the M-Spirit. An engine that unleashed the power to deliver more performance with less consumption. An engine that is not only more powerful, but also more enduring and more durable than its venerable predecessor. This is more than a new chapter. It is the dawn of a new world of performance, the birth of a modern, relentless M-Soul. A soul that honors tradition while charging towards the future.